Hello everybody, my name is Starrapter, and if you've come to the channel looking for the latest in the Star Wars comics, TV series, and more, then you are in the right place because every week I break those down for you, so you're going to want to make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you never miss out on that. So with that being said, let's jump into it. We have two new comics to talk about this week, the first one being Star Wars issue number 54. This is part 5 of the Hope Dies arc. I really like that cover with Vader's lightsaber nearby Leia. So pretty cool stuff right there. And that does symbolize what is going on in this issue, unlike what happened with last issue where they showed Han Solo in a X-Wing flight suit and we never actually seen that. Until this issue, we see that. So that is where we pick up in this issue. To speed you guys along, we are at Makata base. Basically, Vader's forces have ambushed the rebels there thanks to the traitorous Queen Trios, who had dropped that information for Vader, and now the rebels forces are pretty much all their cruisers are locked down, and that's because of a code that Leia has to retrieve from none other than Vader's flagship, the Executor. So we kind of open up with this whole battle going on. Han Solo, he had his Falcon damaged so bad that he actually has to get out of that and go into an X-Wing to help out Luke and Rogue Squadron. That's right, Rogue Squadron becomes a thing in this Hope Dies arc. So then we pick up right with Leia. She is with her crew of rebel saboteurs along with General Draven. What happens is they get the chip that's going to allow their ships to go back into hyperspace. Unfortunately, there's only a single ship that they can escape on nearby, and Leia has to take this data back to the rebel cruisers. She says she wants to stay behind, but General Draven literally makes her go. So Leia is the only one to survive from that party. And unfortunately, we see the demise of General Draven. So by the time Leia gets into the TIE Fighter, she doesn't exactly know how to work a TIE Fighter, so she's trying to figure out how to communicate to the nearby rebels to not kill her. And well, she senses Luke's presence. She's able to use what it seems like the Force to dodge the laser bolts, and she does kill a TIE Fighter that sends the signal to the other rebels that, hey, look, there's something different about this TIE Fighter, let's not kill it. So they do get back to Akbar's flagship, they plug in the coordinates, and they are able to escape, and they go into hyperspace, and we have General Dodonna and Leia and Luke talking at the end of the issue saying, look, we have to go back, there's a bunch of other ships that we need to get, and he's saying, oh, it's too big of a risk because one cruiser is going to make a difference. If we die, then there's going to be no rebellion. They do make the decision to go back, and that's where this issue leaves off. So a lot to say about this issue, a lot to break down. First off, I just love seeing Han in an X-Wing. I mean, come on, that's so cool to see him in another craft that isn't a Millennium Falcon, especially because he's in a flight suit just like the rest of the pilots. So pretty cool. He's actually part of Rogue Squadron, you can say, for a little bit of time there. I want to talk about Vader because holy crap, this was horrifying. This brought back memories of Rogue One, him at the end of the Battle of Scarif just wiping out the fleet troopers, and we had the same kind of scene happen in this with him just wiping out all these rebels and force choking General Draven. That was just very satisfying to me, but also a little bit sad. It's nice also to see what happens with General Draven. Yes, this big commander that was left over from Rogue One, why don't we see him in A New Hope? Why, or he was somewhere else, but why don't we see him in Empire or anything else? That's because he made a noble sacrifice, and I love that he actually mentions Jin's name. He was pissed that he couldn't have that kind of noble sacrifice that she had. So he's like, yes, this is my moment. I'm going to buy time for the rebellion. And General Draven, man, that guy was a hero. He was the last man standing before he got force choked. So definitely like the character a lot more with that noble end. And it just was something that was just very cool. And I didn't actually expect to see that. So nice job continuing the story of a movie character in the comics and seeing his end there. Very cool stuff from the story group and Kieran Gillen and everybody involved making that decision. I want to jump into a little bit with Leia and about how she was flying the TIE Fighter. I like the fact that Han and Luke couldn't hit her. Like, she was using a little bit of the Force, it seems like, because she's different than most pilots. Even though she has no skill whatsoever flying a TIE Fighter, she was still able to pull that off. Pretty cool stuff there. And just talking about the artwork in general, Salvador Larroca has done an excellent job with this arc in particular, especially with the space combat. The first time we see that Han jumps in the X-Wing and he joins the battle, it was spectacular to say the least, because there's literally Y-Wings, there are Star Destroyers, there's the Super Star Destroyer, the Executor, and all these things just on the page. Like, it was just amazing, really. So yeah, we have one more issue in the Hope Dies arc, and it's going to be a doozy with this huge battle going on. I cannot wait to see what happens with the aftermath of that next month. And the other comic we have to talk about this week is Lando Double or Nothing. This is issue 5. This is the final issue to this miniseries that takes place before the events of Solo, a Star Wars story. So we have this revolt going on the planet of Colgrune. We've had Lando, his sole mission in this arc was to smuggle these weapons to these people on this planet so they can start this rebellion. And well, we pick up in this issue and the rebellion has begun. We have all these people, the protrusions that are the same species as Christus, who is also the person that contacted Lando. They are all fighting in these droid factories, and it's pretty much tooth and nail. They are getting wiped out. You see Lando just going crazy, just killing like a ton of stormtroopers. Like, he's just being a total badass, really. But eventually their numbers start to dwindle. We have L3, she's in the Falcon, and she says there's reinforcements that come that are in the form of the new ship type, the TIE Brute, also known as the TIE Infiltrator, which you can actually see in Solo, a Star Wars story. She's out there in space or in the atmosphere just firing, killing these things. And the protrusions have a trick up their sleeve. When the odds seem that they're lost, the father, I think it is, of Christus, activates the droids. So these people were working in the factory on these droids, and they sabotaged them without even Lando knowing. He was even left out of the plan. And they purposely didn't want Lando to know about the plan, obviously, because it worked pretty flawlessly when they put it into activation. You had super battle droids, you had B1 battle droids, you had protocol droids just going at it against the stormtroopers to really even out the numbers. So really, really cool stuff there. By the end of the issue, what happens, though, is the Millennium Falcon does get captured by the Empire, and they take it away from Lando. Lando's about to charge in, and, you know, he's got to fight the battle another day, basically, because he would get killed if he charged. But then we do have the friends of Christus coming down with a stolen Imperial shuttle to take all of the liberated individuals out of that planet. And what they do is they drop Lando off at the last spot where they track the Millennium Falcon, which happens to be Vandor, and it leads right into Solo, a Star Wars story. Lando gets paid. He has, you know, a nice conversation with Christus, and they split ways from there on, and that is the Lando Double or Nothing arc of this 5-issue miniseries. So let's get right into the good stuff here. The stuff I liked about this is looking at it as a whole. The whole miniseries as a whole is Lando does have quite a good arc in this issue, in this whole miniseries, right? So he starts off very selfish. All he cares about is upgrading the Falcon. By the end of this, he's putting his life on the line for characters like Christus, for their entire rebellion movement of the protrusions on Colgrune. So he really does grow as a character. Another thing I like is just the jokes about Lando getting foreshadowed to be a leader and a general. Like, he's like, oh, I'll never be that. And hey, we know he is that in Return of the Jedi. So pretty cool stuff there. What I really, really dug in this issue is Droid War. And this whole miniseries, again, was about droids. I mean, L337's relationship with Lando and her trying to help the droids, and by the end the droids are in a full revolt, sort of like what they have, like they do on the planet of Kessel, right? They're doing the same type of thing there. We even see L3 getting into combat. That was awesome. We actually see her with a rifle going back to back with Lando. They're just blasting away at all the stormtroopers. Such cool stuff there, and I did not expect this to tie so neatly into Solo, a Star Wars story. Like, I cannot wait to get that on Blu-ray next week, because I'm gonna just have that natural transition. We know how Lando's ship got impounded and they brought it to Vandor. I guess that was probably the nearest planet to where they were at the time, and that's why he gambles, because he wants to win money to get this thing out of there somehow. So yeah, that's basically the Lando Double or Nothing story in a nutshell. Very enjoyable. The artwork was just so great, so vibrant, really captured, the writer really captured the voice of Lando and L3, that whole relationship. So yeah, I would say definitely pick this one up when it comes out in trade. It's a good read for sure. So next week you guys can look forward to, like I said, Solo, a Star Wars story will be out on Blu-ray, but some of you probably are watching it already because it is now out on digital. I like to wait for the physical version because all my Star Wars, you know, is all physical at this point. And it does come with a digital code anyway, so I'm going to have that. I just got to wait like 10 days after the digital came out, and I could do that. I can wait another couple days. We also have the final issue of Poe Dameron, which will be issue number 31. We have Dr. Aphra, issue number 24, and we have Star Wars Adventures coming out with issue number 14 next week. So what did you guys think of the comics that came out this week? How are you enjoying Star Wars? What did you think of the fall of General Draven, and what did you think of the entire Lando Double or Nothing miniseries as a whole? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. If you are new to the channel, I have plenty of other content that you can check out right now that comes out on a frequent basis. Lately, I've been doing a lot with the X-Wing 2nd edition. It just came out last week, so I've been covering the core set, the different types of expansions, so I have more stuff coming out for that. I also got back from the first ever Keystone Comic-Con in Philly, where I have a video of a panel with none other than Darth Maul himself, Ray Park, as well as just other coverage, other videos of that convention. So guys, make sure you do subscribe so you'll never miss another video on the channel. My name is Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.